Welcome to Capture the Reps podcast, the podcast for fitness creatives by fitness creatives. Each episode, we will dive into techniques, strategies, and behind-the-scenes stories to help fast-track your career. Whether you're behind the camera or in front of it, this is the space to grow, create, and connect. Hit it, Sam.
We're up to like 4.5 hours right now, which is like really cool. Thank God. So like there is light at the end of the tunnel, but we are still, obviously a ways out. We're only 3 months into this battle that we're both facing.
I feel that those times, man, it was like a very productive time for me because at that time I was doing a lot of these graphic posters. And so my wife will be the one to sleep first until like 8 from 8 to like midnight or 1 a.m. And then I will get with the baby and I will hold her and those like chairs that you move. I don't know how they're like rocking chairs.
Yeah.
And I will like everything is dark, so you cannot do a lot of stuff. But I will have this little notebook with me and like have my baby here. And then I will be like drawing like some ideas that will come to mind. Like those moments where everything is so quiet and you are forced to like sit down in silence. Like the mind, it's wonderful. Like everything starts like rolling and rolling and rolling. And that's very cool. Now I try to do it, but now I just cannot sit still in silence.
That is a good point. Like I've noticed like whenever like I do something similar. I'll have my phone with me and just do like a notes app thing, and I'll just start like plugging away at different ideas. Or I'll be able to like have another kind of screen off to the side where I can kind of just like watch, different things on socials, and kind of get some inspiration there and that kind of stuff. But yeah, it does like, it's weird because like we're so used to like having to like, we have the thought of like work being like, get in there, edit, keep going. And you never allow yourself any time to like think critically either about your work. You can review your work real fast or look for others like for inspiration or just kind of see different styles and techniques out there.
Yeah. Yeah. You get like into this cycle of doing the same thing, and unless you take time to look at other stuff and sit down and I'm gonna look for other things that has nothing to do with it.
Where do you like normally look for those types of ideas? Like, do you have friends that are creatives as well that kind of do the similar stuff we do, or?
Yeah, well, I watch a lot of YouTube, but I kind of watch like to watch a lot of like Mark Bone, the out of the documentary guy. There's this kid from Mexico that is called Gox. Like, have you ever watched him?
I haven't watched him, but I've Mark Bone with like Art of Documentary and all that kind of stuff. I feel like you're like the like fifth or sixth person that's mentioned that to me like in the past 6 months. So
yeah. But this kid from Mexico, GAWX, like it's so good. So good at doing videos, the way he does, the way he colors the ideas. Like, so I try to watch a lot of stuff that it's not so related with what I normally do. I feel that a good thing for me is that I shoot a lot of food and a lot of hospitality. So even if you don't see the correlation with it between sports and food, like I feel shooting food has made me way better sports photographer. Because sometimes food, you just have like one thing, like is the dish and that's it. And like you need to move, find a way to make it look the way it needs to look. And sports is something similar. Like you need to move and move and move until you get what you want. So I watch a lot of food photographers. That's something.
How do you keep from like getting hungry? I would be so hungry after watching a bunch of like, or like looking at a bunch of photos of food.
I don't know. Like, I probably after you do it for a long time, just like, because I have some clients that are like really nice restaurants. And like at first they will be like, hey, Enrique, like, because we will shoot, I don't know, like 20 different dishes, you know? And they will be like, hey, you want to take something home? And I will be like, yeah, for sure. And
Yeah,
now like,
absolutely.
hey, you want to take something home? And I'm like, no, dude, like, I'm good. Thank you. You know, it's just like, it comes the time, I feel like with everything, you know, same thing. I feel like it's kind of the same thing with like competitions. Like you go there and you are like, oh yeah, like I don't want to sound ungrateful, but like you get it. Oh yeah, another jetty bottle, then another hat, and another things, and you are like, yeah, it's cool, but like, dude, honestly, like when I get home, like it's gonna sit there. Or it's usually the one that gets and ends up with all those things is my mouth. It's like she will come and, oh, like this Jerry cup is so nice, and I'm like, take it, you know.
Yeah. It's like, by the way, that's your Christmas gift this year. So don't ask for anything.
Yeah. So like with all those things, I feel like it's the same with the food, you know. It's just, but there are some. But once I had I'm very careful with that, because once I had a client that we were talking, and I was like, he was like, yeah, we were looking for a new photographer, but like, we like what you do, so we want to continue working. And I'm like, okay, like what happened with your photographer? Like, it's something that you can talk about. And like what he said, like stuck with me forever. And this was when I was starting. He was like, yeah, like he was good, but we decided to stop working with him because when we will do the full menu shoot, he will bring his family. And we'll feed his family, and we'll take all the food, and like he will take like no one in consideration. And they were like, yeah, like that's not the way to go for us, and we just decided to stop working with him. And to that day, like even if the restaurant is like, hey, you want to take food, I will be, yeah, just that, and I will take one plate.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that brings up a good point. It's just like the idea of like professionalism, right? A little bit with the idea of like, you know, because a lot of us are working with brands or outside of the fitness realm, you know, we're working with big corporations and stuff like that. And like, you know, it's very easy to get a pair of shoes here, a pair of shoes there, but like, don't be the guy that like, or the girl that grabs like 7 pairs of the shoe brand that you're working with and walk away. And it's probably not anything that they'll say, much like it sounds like this individual. It's like they're just going to like quietly quit you and just kind of move on. So just be extremely gracious when you have that opportunity, you know, and don't kind of go overboard with that kind of stuff. When you are looking at, you know, those other photographers and kind of referencing and seeing what they're doing out there, or even, you know, the YouTube people that you follow, are you asking, like, what questions are you asking yourself, or like, how are you evaluating things? Like, what are you looking for inspiration?
I feel that all those things, like as my work evolves, those questions evolve. So right now I'm looking to work more heavily into like bigger brands or more campaign work. And you won't believe it, but I was a couple of days ago doing all the questions for the photos that I want to look at, you know, like it has a different, like what this subject is representing, why it feels like this, like what Nike wants to say with this photo, why it's shot like this, and why it has these colors, you know, and like all those things that you see. So like one of the questions is like, why will the brand use this image? What emotion does it create? What does make the viewer believe about the athlete or the brand? Why will the brand pay for this work? What they were trying to communicate? Who is the audience? Is this why this photo is more valuable than a regular photo? Now, and I feel like as my work is evolving and I trying to reach into different stuff, those questions change. So right now, that will be like questions when I'm looking at other work or trying to find different work.
And when you like, do you take those questions with you? Because obviously there's a few in there, right? That you kind of have to memorize. Like, do you have a method? Is it, I think you mentioned like a note, not a notebook or something like that. Like, or do you just use like your phone, or like, how are you keeping track of all that basically?
Well, I usually like save photos. And then when I try to get some time and like really look at it, because it's not the same thing that you're scrolling, oh, this is a nice photo. Like,
right. Yeah.
I will save it and try to get some time to look at all those things. And especially when I'm planning for a shoot, like I will bring those resources, and then I start doing a board, and then like, okay, like then I will show it to a couple of people, like what you think, how you feel, and things like that. And something that really helped me for a long time that I stopped doing and I want to start doing again. I don't know if you know Stu. His Instagram is it's YKS Media.
I do not know. I will after this, so I'm going to look him up.
He's great. Like, I always tell him he's one of my favorite photographers, and he just laughs. We are part of a group that was called the Double Agent. It's like Justin Temane, Alex Aroca, David, Stuart, and myself. So we will collaborate, try to get work for one another and things like that. And like, that's how my friendship with Stu grew. And we had this shared album, like the iPhones, you can share albums. So we will take screenshots and we will put photos in that album. And then like, I don't know, like usually like once every 2 weeks, we will text and talk about the photos that we put together. Or like if I see like a really nice photo, I will. And the albums, you can comment and likes and things like that. So I will be like, oh, this looks insane. How do you think that it was shot? And things like that. So that helped me also to discover a lot of different photographers, because he moves in a little different world, more like he works in productions, but he also does a lot of gymnastics, weightlifting, and other photographers that I may not be looking at. Those will be on his feed. So it was like a good mix of everything, and it was like very collaborative space. We stopped a couple of months ago. Honestly, I think it's because my fault that I stopped doing it, but something that's always there, and that's something that I look for, and that helps me stay creative.
What I really love is that if one of my friends, that I know personally, so like if you've liked something, then I would be able to see that image. Like, usually they have like that little section where it's like, so-and-so has liked it. And if certain people like certain things, like my close friends and things like that are in the space, like then I'm more likely to like look at that image, and then that will lead me typically down a rabbit hole. So like Chris Knoll, like if Chris likes a photo, like I'll see that and I'll be like, oh, if Chris liked it, then it has to be a good work of art, right? And then you start diving into that person's Instagram, and then you start going down this rabbit hole of like, oh, they have this video, or they have these photos, oh, they work with this, they do this. And then you start kind of seeing their style, for the most part. Usually most people have like a distinct style. Some people are still developing it, but then you can pull certain things. So I see it all the time. And then discovery page, just popping on Instagram, going over the discovery page and just mindlessly scrolling. I tend to try to stay away from that as much as possible, but
but it's hard.
Yeah.
Is Chris your guy for like, oh, if this guy send me something to look at it, it's good.
Yes. Yeah. I usually I rely on my trusted people. And if my trusted people are my friends are like, hey, this is good work, then it's like, okay, there's that, nice thing. It's like kind of like, I mean, I guess this is modern dating. I have no idea. Modern dating is probably nice because it's like, well, if my friend like wants me to get introduced to this girl, it's like, well, they can kind of vouch for me, right? Like I'm not a weirdo or I'm not like a random person. Like if we get along, then clearly like we're going to get along on the dating scene. I don't know. That might just be like me dating myself aggressively hard there because I haven't been dating for like a decade plus. So I really like what you had set up with like fellow creatives where you guys are kind of bouncing referrals and stuff off of each other like that. How did you go about like forming that group?
That group exists a long time ago, and I was invited like 3 years ago. So honestly, I don't know how it was formed at the beginning. I was the last one to be invited, and we still talk and like things like that. But it will be cool because we all trust each other and we all know that the other one can deliver. So we will have people like, hey, like, can you guys do this? Or like, I don't know, like, hey, Enrique, can you do this? And I'm like, I'm busy, but I have like 4 people that like, I will cut my hand if they do a bad work. So like if you have them, it's like if you have me. So like, would you be interested in having them? And also that was kind of the thing, how it goes. And we got some good opportunities. Like I got some work with Justin and David. I was able to bring a steward to the games one time because we needed another photographer and like they like his work, so we made it happen. So like we help each other like that, and that's pretty cool because at the end of the day, a lot of my work is doing work with other photographers and videographers that I have met now, not only in CrossFit, but even like here in the city or, So I feel like it makes sense to have a channel where we can communicate and build upon and bring other people when we can take an opportunity.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest misconception too, is the idea of like there isn't like you have to be almost like territorial and like you brought up a good point about like having the conversation of like, well, would you also want this, and this, knowing that you have, your circle of people that would be able to help service whatever that need is. It's a very easy conversation. It's a simple ask like, hey, like for me it would be, I do photo, but I don't do photo at a level that, would be like, I wouldn't go to a brand and be like, I'm going to take product photography. Right. But I might have the conversation of like, hey, I'm going to do all the video stuff. By the way, Enrique can come in and do, brand photography because I know you'll kick ass for them. And that simple conversation helps both of us out. Obviously you're a really great person to work with because everyone that I've talked to pretty much in the CrossFit space has mentioned your name in some way. So like that idea of like, you already have someone. Fun. Yeah, it makes it fun, right? And it makes it more enjoyable. That's something that we talked about with Steven Sover about, is like the idea of like just having fun with it, right? And like that makes it so much easier. It doesn't make it feel like work, and you'll actually have a better end product,
Yeah, and also like, honestly, you will think like, oh, you will see it like you're giving a client away, but honestly, it's not. Like they won't call them right away next time. They will come to you first, and then they will be like, okay, hey, you cannot do it? Like, hey, can this person do it again? Like, yeah,
So if anything, like you're helping solve you're providing a solution to their problem, which would help
and that
further
that helps to set you as like the expert. Hey, this guy is my solution. If he cannot do it, he will have someone that can do it and do it right. So like they're not gonna be talking like, oh yeah, no, Enrique got me this guy and this other guy is amazing and you should contact him. No, they will be like, hey, like this guy knows how to solve, has the people that can solve. If he can't, you should contact him, And that's something that people don't see or don't understand, that it's enough cake for everyone.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I always throw out the example of like, you can walk down to any business park right now and walk in, leave a takeaway of like a, photo, whatever, just like go in there and just start pitching businesses. Like there's so much business to go around. It's impossible for everyone to even like prospect everything that's out there, just because there's so many startups that start up. I mean, look at like, you didn't even hear about Rad 10 years ago, or like, Reebok used to be a main player and now they've, turned their focuses elsewhere. I mean, they're still involved in the space, but like people will come and go and new brands will come up and invest a lot more and all that kind of stuff. So like, there's so much to go around. Like no one should be territorial about anything.
No, I feel it should be the other way around. Like, hey, like, let's all build together, because I used to do work with a guy and he's will be like, I can have the best event or the best product or the best thing, but if I don't have the best people doing it and showcasing it, like there's no point in it. And if you are the best or good, and then you bring other good people, it just only strengthens your position. If I am like, okay, let's do this competition, like local competition, and they have, I don't know, 800 for the whole day, and we need to bring a team. Like, either you can bring a lot of volunteers and take the 800 yourself, or you can bring like another solid guy and be like, hey, dude, like, what if we go for 100 each one and we do a kick-ass job? And next year we'll be like, hey, we like what you did. Like, these years, we have 1,200. We have 1,500 for one day. It's just, okay, cool. People play, a lot of people in that aspect play like the short game. Like, I want to win and I want to get the money now. Instead of like, dude, like if we do a good job, next year will be more money. We'll be able to bring more people and do a better job.
I literally couldn't agree with you more. I say it all the time. It's like, play the long game, play the long game, play the long game. Like you're going to take some lumps. It's going to be rough. You're going to have to like, sleep in a room with like 4 other creatives, and like, you're going to sleep on a couch and it's going to be terrible and you're going to eat crappy food. But then one opportunity is going to come your way from all of that hard work and like putting yourself, in situations and just allowing yourself to get out there. You're going to have that one opportunity from that one brand, that one athlete, that one whatever training group, doesn't matter, because they saw your previous work, or they liked one thing about you, or you worked with this company that now the CMO is now with this company, or whatever. It's like, you can't be short-sighted with that kind of stuff. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, that's how like all my clients, like my regular clients, I've been working with them for like 5-6 years. Now you think if I have done something like that, like, oh yeah, Enrique did a good job, but like all the other guys here wrote like our shit, you think I will be there, just
exactly
how you want to present yourself and what you do and how you do it.
Yeah, well, like what are your rules with that? Like, are there certain things that you do with a new client when you're first working with them, or is there certain things that you were just like, I have these core values,
Yeah. Well, a couple of years ago, I started like saying no more and firing clients. Like, I don't do work that I don't want to do. I think that's like a big thing now. Like, it helps me make the work easier, faster, better, instead of like running like, oh, I have to go and shoot this shit for $600. Sorry if I'm saying too much shit. Like,
it's okay. I want you to be you on this. So don't feel, and if like, you'll, it's funny. I forget who, I think Chase, Chase, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, he's little bit of a sailor in a sense. And like, you know, it's funny because like on Instagram, I try to like, I bleep it out or whatever, but like on YouTube, I'll just let it rip. But like on Instagram, the one time he like DM'd me afterwards, like, oh, sorry about like swearing so much. I'm like, it's just be you, man. That's the whole concept of this is just be you. So yeah, sorry. Continue on.
Yeah. So like I started doing that, and like work became easier instead of like dragging, like I need to go and shoot this for this amount of money that doesn't even move the needle for me, you know? And so right now, my clients is just like a conversation, like getting very clear and specific on what they need from me and what they are expecting of the work and the deliverables. I always like ask them to talk to me like if I was dumb. Like, okay, you want this, like this, like this, like this. Is this good? Yes. Okay, we're good, you know? And usually I do like a follow-up, like, hey, all right, so this is the work. Please review it. Let me know what worked, but also what didn't work. So next time I can avoid what didn't work and I can try to make more of what works and maybe maybe do some experimentation with something new instead of like the bad thing. So it helps to clear the bad work, and there will come a point that you're just doing work that will be useful, you know?
Yeah. So like that pre-production process, like do you have like a set like checklist? Like do you have certain questions that you ask? You mentioned on deliverables and things like that. Like do you dive into those deliverables? Like do you try to get a feel for what they've done in the past? Or like what is your strategy with that? Because I know everyone's a little bit different with that.
Yeah, I'll just ask like, I don't know. Like I went to a CrossFit gym last weekend and they're like, hey, can you come shoot for 3 hours? All right, yeah, what's needed? Yeah, okay, we need photos. We need a couple of clips because we're doing a new type of class. So we want to promote that. All right, okay. And like, well, this is a client that I've been working with like 5 years. So like what you need, and they will be like, just do your thing, you know, like what the way you always do. But before this conversation, where it will be like, hey, like I need photos of this. I will need photos of this and these specifics. And, you know, like if the client is there, sometimes I will be like, hey, like this is what you have in mind. Does this work for you? It depends in a lot of situations. I do not have like a set of list of set questions that I ask. But one thing, especially for new clients that I always ask is like, how you see my work? You know what I do? This is what I can produce. Are you okay with it? Like, I don't want you to be expecting things from me that I don't do. And I have said no to things. Like a couple of months ago, a guy was like, hey, bro, I know what you do. What about like, are you interested in shooting my music video? And I was like, hell no. No. Like music videos is a lot of work. I never done it. It's not something that honestly I'm interested in. Like honestly, I will be wasting your time more than mine.
Right.
So but it's pretty similar. Like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. So I think it's better for you to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I feel that also those things like give you credibility and respect. It's not like because that guy, next time when he calls me and he's like, hey, dude, like I like what you do. Would you be able to do a photo session for me? Because I sing, so now I want some photos for my album. Oh, sure. Yeah, let's do it. And he will be very certain that I know what I'm doing. Because when I didn't know how to do what he was asking, I was upfront and I was like, I'm not your best option. So that gives him confidence for next time. If I said yes, it's because I know what I'm going to do.
Yeah. And it's just being that solution, you know? Yeah. So whether it's you, whether it's somebody else that you can point in the right direction, and then further that relationship with that person for future work.
Yeah. So that will be probably like the question that I always ask, like, hey, have you seen what I do? And this is what I can produce. Works for you or not?
Yeah. And, you would hope that in a lot of the cases too, people are hiring for your specific work, but I know exactly what you're describing. Like that's happened to me before where, you get hired for something and then it's like, can you make this, or you're having the conversation beforehand, like, can you make something similar to this? It's like, well, have you seen what I do right now? Cause like, that's kind of like my like lane. That's like kind of where I live. I can, kind of mold those together, but like, I'm not that person, so to speak. So yeah.
Yeah. Like I have learned to give the client what they need. Like, because I shoot a lot of college sports for some publications.
UTSA.
So like, yes, UTSA, Internet World. So like for them, like, yeah, like I like to shoot like these slow shutter photos, like sound Dutch angle, these super macro shots, that, but they don't care about it, So like I take those photos that are for me. So I know what they need and I adapt to what they need, So I feel that helped me to also do consistent work for like these type of publications and things, because they let me like keep my colors and keep these things, but I need to do editorial work, And sometimes, yeah, we can go out of the norm, because now it's something that works too. Now, like there's people since the Olympics, like Jeff, like Florence Burnett, and these people that has been doing like very different take on sports and editorial work. That now that things are becoming a different niche, So I learned how to adapt, but trying to keep the essence of my work together, like the same colors, like, I'm a very emotional person. So I feel that reflects a lot of my work. That's why I have a lot of photos of like people screaming, people in pain, people like very focused, like concentration, like all these things. So I feel that I've been able to incorporate those things into an editorial type of work that is needed for publications. So yeah, I get what you're saying, like, hey, like you're hiring me for what I do, but I also kind of find the sweet spot until, okay, I'm going to give you what you need, but in the way I can give it to you, and that can work. So it's pretty cool. And, like I take what I need and then like I take a little extra so I can do whatever I want with it. It's just a fun thing. And now, like I have a full-time job, marketing agency, and I do all the photo and video. So there was like a very humble experience on like, yeah, that like you can be good, but like if you want to create a video, you put a lot of emotion that will make me cry. It won't help me sell content,
Yeah.
So like, oh shit, like, yeah, like, okay, sounds good. Like I need to lead with a different approach. And that helped me a lot too, and how to think what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. And these type of questions, like it helps tell what we want to tell. Like it will sell what we need to sell. Like what type of emotion do we want to create? We want to create excitement about wanting it. Like if I made a video that will make you cry, will you be like, oh, can you help a 6-pack, please? Like, no. So like, I feel that the work at the agency helped me a lot on that aspect, because I used to be very unidimensional. Like, I will do all the like a food video and a CrossFit video, kind of the same way. And now it's like, no, like, get out of here. Like, it's two different things. You need to have two different approaches. And I mean, like, I don't work with a lot of people locally. So for me, learning all these things, I don't have a lot of people that will tell me like, hey, dude, like, that's not how you do it. So having these people at the agency that will be like, Enrique, that's a nice video, but it doesn't serve the purpose with it. So go back again. It has been very eye-opening, and that's been very cool for me.
Yeah, and so you do a lot of things, right? And like, you're not. What I really like about you, anyways, is that you do a lot of things. You have your toes, and we talked about this before with the idea of like, I do a lot of corporate things, but I don't necessarily put them out there, right? Like, I don't put them out for the world to see. I know you called me out on that, and I appreciate that. But like, talk to like the importance of like doing that though, because like I feel like a lot of the times people are getting in. What I'm seeing recently is like people are getting so lost in like just being like this one thing, and it seems like a new like people like yourself that are established, like they realize that you shouldn't go all in on just like one specific thing, whether it's just high rocks or just CrossFit or just football. Like, you should be doing a little bit of everything, and just kind of like dive into that, because I'm interested to hear your take on it.
Well, I feel like it depends on what you want to do, how you want to do it. But like, if you want to live of this, like sports, like CrossFit is not gonna cut it. Now, like, I know, and I have talked with a good amount of professional photographers that work like with the Spurs, with the Cowboys, like with the Houston Astros, and these people is like, you won't believe it, but like they do media day at high schools. Now they shoot other stuff, like there's a lot of people that shoot real estate, a lot of people that those college sports, and because of this relationship with the players and the alumni and everyone, like, they do a lot of graduation photos, So like, people have the misconception, and I feel that when you start, you have the misconception like, oh, these guys that are photographing the NFL, the NBA, like, they are loaded. Like, no, dude, like, there's no money there. Like, there's no money. Now, I shoot college sports because I want to. Now, like, if I stop shooting it, like, it won't change my lifestyle because there's no money. So I feel like you only understand that once you are in the path. Now, like, oh, yeah, like, I got those, like, hey, like, if you don't specialize in sports, like, you're not going to make it, Or if you don't specialize in food, you're not going to make it, I make more money off food than sports. And all the work you see from me is sports. So, like, I don't understand, like, that. So, yeah, for, like, if you are starting, like, school, like, try other things. And also, man, like, other things will make you better at, like, everything. Like, how difficult it is to shoot inside a kitchen that has no lighting, like, and it's just flames everywhere, grease everywhere. Like, these people is moving around. Like, that's hard. Like, it's not the hardest thing in the world, but it's not an easy thing. So if you can shoot there, you can go and shoot at the CrossFit games when they have like really nice light. So like, it's okay to put yourself in position and situations that are different for what you want to do. Because also, if you always stay in sport because someone told you like you need to be a one thing guy, like how are you gonna know that you don't like all the things?
Right.
Like honestly, like photography food, like it's cool.
Yeah. And there's just endless possibilities. Yeah. It's, I
I'm just thinking of like my past weekend where I was on the 4th floor of like a building. It wasn't necessarily an office building. It was like kind of like an old style, like memorial type building. And on that 4th floor, like it was mostly like all storage. So the task was to record learning content in that space. And it was a huge challenge because it's like, well, how do you make this space look compelling? Or how do you make this space not look like it is a 4th floor storage, et cetera, right? And because I've done similar things to that in the past that are just completely different, that made that experience better. And now I can take that experience from that corporate job into any type of like local affiliate. If it's a CrossFit thing, can do it in a local high school. If it's like, like to your point, like high school football or whatever. And like, because you put yourself out there in those different experiences, you grow. Exactly what you're saying there. So yeah, I can agree with you.
And like it's like a country, what makes a country rich is all these different cultures that come together and everyone brings something to the table. I feel that that's very similar to the photography. Like, like one time I remember that I put together like this board for a food shoot, but it was mixed with this high-end fashion. So we're kind of shooting like a runway, like this fashion show, but with food too. Like, it's just like two things, like food and models. Like, it's like, those two things didn't used to go together. And like, how you bring this combination, like, it's just, you need to try different things to have like a rich and full experience. And then from there, you can decide like for me, I don't shoot baseball. Not like the guys from the publication. No, we have always talked about this. Like, they get one game of baseball each season from me. And like joking last year, they were like, Enrique, we have good news for you. We have a guy that loves to shoot baseball, so you're good. Like, but
what didn't you like about baseball? Like shooting baseball?
For me, it's too slow. It's very boring for me. Like,
it's not timed. Yeah.
So like, but on the other opposite, like I love softball. No, like, and I feel like the girls' energy is very different. And like, well, the games that I have been like, there's also some shit talk, some trash talk, and all these things. And I feel like the game, even like it's a faster game, usually more score, like more runs. So like it's a very dynamic game, but the energy is very different. And like, can you imagine if I was like, I don't like baseball, so by default, I don't like softball. If I never try it, but I was like, you know what? I'll try it, and I love it.
Right. And it could become, you look at it where it's like, oh yeah, I'll try this out one time. And then that one time you fall in love with it. And then all of a sudden it's 25% of your business, overnight. That is a good point though. I did notice that like with softball, like they're a lot more like animated and like cheering them on like a lot louder. And like baseball has definitely gotten a lot better as far as like the celebrations and stuff they do whenever they hit home runs and stuff. But like, it's not necessarily like a sport that like has that type of energy. It's more like everyone's like focused and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I went to shoot one game when they changed the rules that now pitchers need to pitch faster and all those things. And it was like a different experience, but it's still like, it wasn't for me. And I don't have anything against the game, Like, it's something that it's just not something like, I think every photographer will have something like, hell no, I don't do that.
Yeah.
What's your thing?
I'm trying to think. Well, I would say I don't do it anymore. It's like, and I did it in the past, but like weddings, I will do the only time. See, I can't even say that. Cause like the only time that I'll do a wedding, if it's a close friend or a family member, and if you're watching this, please don't ask, that like, I will do it for them because it's like, okay, much like yourself, I really enjoy shooting emotions. That's kind of like my thing. I really like diving deeper and like having some type of like pull to it, right? Not just like, someone just doing a technical lift or like someone just like whatever. I do like the emotions a lot myself. So anywho, like the weddings and things like that, like I try to stay away from them mostly because I love college football. And those are every Saturday, and then NFL's on Sunday. And what I hated was like I lost every single weekend. Like, you know, when I was a full-time wedding videographer, like I would lose every weekend, and like I would just be going insane. And I was working a full-time job on top of that and all that kind of fun stuff. But like, yeah, I typically stay away from that. I would say the other big thing would be, and something that you actually do, I believe, is like the brand type shoot. So if someone sent us like, I don't know why, like toothpaste, I don't know why that's on my mind. But like doing a like a product shoot for like toothpaste. I've tried it in the past, you know, with products, and like it just doesn't go well for me. And I think it's because I look at my style, and my style is pretty much defined as, for lack of a better way of saying it, like run and gun. There is some structure with what I do, but a lot of the times I'm just simply being a fly on the wall in cases. And I'm less likely to like sit down and do very structured shots. I like to feed on whatever's in the environment or given to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand. You know what? I have a lot of problems shooting real estate.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like I have tried, you know, like photos are decent, but it's not like all the photos that you see that you're like, oh, like I'll buy this house. And like sometimes at the agency, it's like, yeah, we need to shoot these offices. And like, oh, no. Just like, what? I don't know. I just keep trying, and I ask people that choose real estate, like, hey, like, and they have been like, hey, like these photos like are good, like they can be used. Something inside me is just like, no.
Well, yeah, and corporate real estate definitely lacks character in a lot of ways. Like sometimes you can do some cool stuff with like the outside exterior of buildings, but like pretty much if it's an office building, like it's very bland, right, for the most part. And that's what I see a lot. Like whenever I film in, you know, the corporate setting is like usually you're in a conference room that you converted into like some type of like makeshift film studio, and you're just kind of rocking it. But like it's not like offices aren't necessarily supposed to be like the most like aesthetically pleasing for the most part, unless you're like an interior design company. But like if you're like a stereotypical, like, I don't know, your insurance company or something, I don't know, then you're not gonna have like the, you know, the inspirational drawings and stuff like that you can kind of pull from.
My wife will fight you on that because she works at a agency that sells like a broker, insurance broker, and their office is super nice. She will be like, no, like we have good offices too.
Well, what it sounds like to me is that she needs to have me out there, probably needs to hire me for a gig so I can come out there and really make sure that that's correct. You know, do some fact checking. So
they already have a photo video, right?
Most people do. Yeah. In that environment.
Well, it's me. So.
Oh, it's you. Well,
you want to fight it?
No. See, we're going to help each other out because anytime they need, well, granted, I'm not in your area in Texas there, but your work with the agency, do you enjoy doing that? And then I would say too, like, how do you navigate situations where they might already have like a creative on staff? So like in an example for like that would be, at least in the fitness space, would be like, oh, you're working with this brand, or this athlete already has a videographer, but then you're coming in from a brand side and like you're creating content. Like, how do you navigate that with like the existing creator?
3 weeks ago, I went to shoot an event for a production company that sometimes when they need photo, they call me. And it was this like kind of symposium. And the company that was putting the symposium also had their own internal photographer. And I was just like, hey, like, my name is Enrique. I'm here working with these guys. Like, I don't know, like if I'm in your way, just move me. Feel free to kick me out, like kick me around, like just like I don't want to mess up with your workflow. And like I feel that if you come with this position to work together, like that opens up, because I mean, like, I'm not there to take jobs from anyone, you know. So
Exactly.
if
Yeah.
if you come and you show yourself, like, hey, like, I'm here doing this, like, I'm not coming for your job, I'm here just like one time, I think that makes the situation way lighter.
For
Now,
sure.
so I need to do that because, like, seems like I'm always mad. So, like, I
Well, you're
try
like a
to,
resting
hey,
face where it looks like you're mad, or
yeah. And so I try to be like, hey, like, I'm not mad. Like, this is the way I look, but I'm funny. So let's work together on this.
yeah, it's great.
But
You
yeah,
hit him with the
honestly,
soft eyes, you know? Yeah, I got you.
honestly, I have never had like that situation. Just like one time now that I'm thinking about, like, was this arena football team that it was new here. So like I reached out to them and I was like, yeah, like, bring me for a game, then you can see what I do, what I can do for you guys. And it seems like they have a guy that was a photographer. I don't know. He was like a type of a sponsor. So the sponsorship was like, I'll take photos for free. So like they brought me in and like I was in the silence, and then that guy like got close to me and like, what you doing? Out of the blue. And then I was like, I'm shooting like the game. But like, for who? I was like, for the team. Oh no, you cannot shoot for the team. I am the official photographer. And I was like, well, official photographer, like, one of the owners brought me. If you have any issues, you can go up and talk with them. Like the guy like in front of me. And he was like, I don't like to fight, you know? And the guy was like short, like very thin guy, like older guy. And I was like, I'm not a violent person. So like, if like the situation was different, like if I was a different person, like I don't know what would happen, because the guy was like kind of harassing me, not letting me shoot. So then like I called the girl that, hey, like, I'm having this issue. And like 5 minutes later, like she and the other owner came, like, talk with this guy. Like, I think at the end, like, they were like, if you continue acting like that, you're out, you know, like,
Yeah,
we
better be.
don't care that you're the sponsor, you know?
Yeah,
And so just that has been the only time that that happened to me. And yeah, I mean, I feel that now I have a lot of good relationship with older people that gives me opportunities, that they are photographers and they are like, hey, like, let's come to work with me. But I feel that for what I hear, a lot of these interactions are with older people. You know, like photography used to be like this really very close thing, and like a lot of gatekeeping, and you know, and I feel that there's some clash between new generations and the older generations with these things happen. But it's something that I really like, because now, like, when new people comes to CrossFit competitions, you know, like, it's like a very collaborative. Like, hey, dude, like, come here, do this. Like, you have any questions? Like, you have all the equipment you need. Like, hey, like, you shoot the same brand as me. Like, try this lens. You know, like, hey, like, what you're using? Why don't you use like back button focus? Like, why you have like why you don't have manual? Why you're not using Kelvins? You know, like, why you have auto white balance? Like, all these things, instead of like being like, no, like, you don't know, go away, go away. You know.
yeah.
So it's something that I like of this kind of new generation that is more open to all these things, and people that I feel that the more that people know, the more open and the more humble they are. I remember a very nice experience like 3 years ago. The Spurs had the first, like, I don't know how it works, like the first, like, kind of staff photographer that will be with them, like, always. So I was like, that's a pretty cool job. And I followed the guy on Instagram. His name is Reggie Thomas, and he does like beautiful work. Like that work is like art. It's like if it's a piece of art. Every photo. I know the photography is on art, but those are like next level. And then like I sent him a message like, "Hey, like I would like one day to do what you do. What should I do now? Like, how can I build so one day I can be like you?" And the guy was like, "Hey man, like what's your phone number?" "Oh, this is my phone number." "All right. What time works for you? I'm gonna call you tomorrow. We can talk for around like 30 minutes. I was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, shoot." Like the next day, like at the minute he said he was going to call me, he called.
That's
And
crazy.
like we spoke for like 45, 50 minutes, and he was telling me like, "Now, dude, like for this job, like I started doing these things in high school. Like I did this project for a high school, and I did this and this, and you know." And he started telling me about his life and how he sees the things and how he ended up doing all this. And it's like, dude, like for me, this guy is on top of the mountain, and like I'm no one, and he's taking the time to not just answer my message, to give me a call and to be open the door that I can save his phone. I didn't do it, but you know, like that thing, like he opened himself completely on, like he didn't even knew me, and that have left like a big mark on me. So that's have something that I have tried to do since that day when people ask me. Like I don't call them, but I like do like a very thoughtful answer for whatever things they ask me. Yeah, like these people that knows, the more they know, the more humble and open they are to help other people. And that's something very nice now.
Yeah. And I think you hit on another thing too that I've been noticing is the idea of like when an individual, when that happened, so that happened to you, right? And now you're going to do that same type of thing to someone else. So like, there's always the idea of like giving back, right? So like,
Yeah, it's like the butterfly effect.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So like if someone's helped you out along the way, and if someone hasn't helped you out, you're in the minority because everyone needs help, regardless of whether they want to admit it or not. It's going to fast track your career. It's going to make it. So I'm the same way. Like I had people early on help me out. Like I didn't know how to use a camera. I was on YouTube, like learning how to do stuff. And then, I just randomly was filming in my CrossFit affiliate, right? I had no idea what I was doing.
Where I graduate from the YouTube University.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly right. But, those people that helped me along the way, like they've now instilled that in me that I want to help other people along the way. And like, by no means am I on some mountain or anything like that. Like I'm still trying to learn. I'm still trying to figure stuff out. Like I'm not perfect, anything like that. But if there's someone that's in the beginner stage that I can help out to get to an intermediate, right? Or like something like that, and then kind of hand them off to the next person, right? And just kind of have all those like little influences and everybody rise up together. Like, first of all, it's going to make it easier for us financially because the work product's going to go up. And then all of that is also going to demand higher, salaries or higher gigs or whatever it is. Just like how there's always new equipment coming out. Like it's the same type of idea. So I'm with you on that. And I love that you outlined that because I think that's very important.
Yeah. And I feel, like once I start learning more and seeing some interactions in the media rooms, like I felt that it was kind of my responsibility to also help, because there's a lot of people that pretend to be nice and pretend to help other people and just take advantage of the new people. So like when I became more aware of that, I was like, oh, like if I can help, like I'm gonna help because I can, but also because like I don't know what's gonna happen. It's not like I'm a savior, but like, dude, like we don't know. Like, it's a lot of crazy things that happen.
No doubt. Yeah. And like the other thing is too, like you help someone out now, And then that one person has a big break and now they're working for some major brand. And again, this is like a constant theme with our conversation today. It's like, and then like later down the road, they need someone, they remember that you helped them out way back when, you know, you guys have remained close, and then all of a sudden, boom, you know, they bring you up with you. So like it all comes back around. Like, but I think it's very important what you said there is like ask without or give without the expectation to have something given back to you, because that's already happened, right? You've already received that early on in your career or whatever. Like, don't be the person that, you know, gives something and then asks for something back. Just give, you know? Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I feel it's more fun giving than receiving, you know. If you are not really, maybe not even really nice, just like in a position, are you, like, is this phrase like, you need to be grateful that you are in the position of like giving the hand instead of be the one that needs the hand. I don't know if that makes sense in English, just in Spanish, but like it's better to be the one on top giving the hand to get the one that is on the floor instead of being the guy on the floor that needs a hand.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So like,
I mean, that's like like you mentioned before, it's like, it's a feeling, right? It's a positive feeling, and it probably makes you feel really good. I mean, anytime I help somebody out, like sometimes, I take a little victory.
It's a selfish thing. It's a selfish thing. People like don't understand, but it's a selfish thing. It's like, it makes you feel good.
Well, I like it when someone hits me with a question and I'm like, man, I haven't had that issue in like, you know, years or something like that. So I got to go back in the data banks, and then I get the answer and I give it to them, and I'm like, all right, still got it, you know, still got that.
All right. Those people ask you a lot of things.
So I run the media team for Desert City Classic down here. And
You are in charge now?
Yes. Yeah. So I've been in charge for the past, this will be my third year, I believe.
But you are the media director?
Yes.
Interesting.
And, so like with that, we are on ASU's campus, so Arizona State's campus, right? We have this like, I've put it as an initiative, right, to always have like ASU kids, and then try to keep our team as local as possible to build up the community there, like the creative community down here in Phoenix. But what's really cool is like every time we come on, like there's fresh ASU kids. But what happens is you have ASU kids that, you know, volunteered for us 3 years are still volunteering with us today. And like to see their growth, like selfishly for me, is so cool, because it's like, I know that in maybe even in 5 years, I don't know, it's going to be quick. They're going to be much better than I am today, like much better. And like, that's so rewarding for me, like selfishly, because I'm like, oh, I helped them out, you know, it's like kind of cool. It's like your fantasy players on your fantasy football team. You got like your fantasy media people. Like it's been super fun. Like every single year, like it's gotten bigger and better. And like, I love what you guys have been doing too. So you're still part of TFX, right?
Yeah. Well, I hope, Carlos, if you're hearing this,
we'll have to talk
my
to Carlos.
story with TFX is really nice. I'll talk about it when you finish saying what you were going to say.
No, I said we're gonna have to talk to Carlos about that. And then I know I love the stuff that you guys put out. Also with my Magic City. I don't know why I blinked there. That was weird. And I think that's what started our relationship, because I've known you from afar, right? And I know you've been super gracious, like you were saying, with other people that have been kind of like around me, right? So we've had this like osmosis, like one person removed type situation. But yeah, after I saw Magic City, I'm like, we got to have a conversation, because I feel like you're a wealth of knowledge. So there, I'm trying to make you feel good. See that? There we go.
Brandon Kessler always say that I always hunting for validation.
Yeah, of course he does. He just had a kid too.
Yeah, we were talking yesterday about it.
Yeah. So
Magic City is tomorrow. Crazy.
What's that? Sorry.
Magic City is tomorrow too.
There we go.
Yeah, but we were in the media room, and I was like, what do you think about this photo? That looks good, Enrique. And I was like, thank you. And he was like, yeah, is that enough validation for you, or you still need more?
You're like, well, if you want to keep going, I'm not going to stop you. Like,
no, but like I'm that type of people that will like 10 minutes later, Brandon, like, what do you think about this photo? It was like, Jesus Christ.
yeah, not again.
And all day, the whole weekend. Just like, but also, you know what? I think because I do this, like, I ask about people that I respect, like, hey, like, what can I do better? How can I do better? You know?
So you don't respect me, so you never asked me that, but it's fine.
We didn't have that kind of relationship. But like, I will ask him and other people like Brandon Casey, Carlos, like, hey, like, what can I do to be better? And it's something that my boss at work at the agency, like, she celebrates that a lot of me, that like, I'm always like, hey, like, how can I be better? Like, what can I do to be better? Instead of thinking that, oh yeah, I know everything. It's always like, hey, like, what? I feel like probably like Brandon Casey like dreams about me asking him like, hey, like, how does this look? How can I be better?
He like opens up his text messages and sees the bubble. He's like, oh, he's going to ask me again. I know it's coming.
He doesn't answer my text messages anymore. It needs to be Instagram.
There you go.
Yeah. Then the couple of times he works with me, like, he needs to see me, so he needs to answer me in front real time. But like, I feel like I've been lucky also to have like these people that is really good at what they do, taking the time. Like last year at Beach Bro, like, we all were in the same Airbnb, but like, I'd always like tell Brandon Casey, like, hey, like, teach me, like, give me your secrets. And he just laughed. And like, remember, like, that day in the morning, I was like, or before I was like, hey, like, I'm going to steal your secrets this weekend. And as soon as we got to the Airbnb after the first day, she was like, open the computer. And like, he sat with me for like an hour, and then Brandon Kessler came and then Ish came, and then like, we all were having like this editing session on my photos with all of us, like, oh, like, do it like this. Hey, like, do you know you can look for color profiles here? Hey, do you know you can do this? Like, that's cool. Like, I feel like being very lucky to have that type of people in my life. And like, just ask a question. That's why I don't get a lot of questions. Like, people rarely ask me things in that aspect. But like, that's one of the things that I feel that I need to give a good answer, because like, all these people always help me. Like, I cannot be a douche and don't ask me things, So
yeah, I always like kind of strip it down too, because I don't know if you have this problem too, where it's like, none of my friends do what I do. Like, and when I say friends, I meant like, like people that are like in my inner circle of like very tight friends for the past decade. Like, none of them do what I do. So it's very hard to get honest feedback from them, because they're just like, oh, that looks cool. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Or like your family, right? Your family's like, oh, that looks so cool. And you're like, okay, that's not really helpful. Like, I don't want that. So like, I've recently gotten a lot better about it too, of like, just being like, hey, just be direct with me, be honest with me. I can take it. But the only way that I'm going to get better is by you giving me feedback on how this was and what I can do better, whatever it is. And then I am 1000% implementing that ASAP. I'm not waiting. I'm implementing it like next day,
Yeah. And I mean, like, you learn to be like that with time too. And like, honestly, I don't have many friends here. Like, I've been here for like 8 years probably. So like, house life here. Like you go to work, you come to the house, and like it's difficult. So yeah, like probably the only one that it's here in the city that I will go like that and be, hey, what do you think about this? And that cap taught me a lot of things. And day one is his name is Noe. He does TFX with us. So like he had taught me a lot of things. And I remember he has a client that is a gym. So he shoots like every week there. And I remember at first, sometimes he wouldn't be able to shoot, and I will go and do whatever she needed. And I remember one time that I sent the photos to him, like unedited, because he will do his thing with it. And he was like, hey, dude, like, have you ever thought about like bringing down the contrast on your camera? And I was like, what is this guy talking about? Because I was kind of a little new to the space. So like a lot of contrast and all these things. Like, let's make it dark and moody and this. Like, I was like, what this guy is talking about? Like, why would I do that? Now that's the first thing that I do.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Like I don't know how much help will I advance if I just take his advice that in that moment. Like it took me like 5 years to understand by myself, like, hey, like bring the contrast down.
Yeah. I think it's an important note though. It's like you might understand how to do something, but you not might understand the why behind why you do it, which is interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. And for me, not humble enough to be like, oh, I'm going to try what this guy is saying. It's like, no, dude, like, what are you talking about? Like, bring that shit to the top and crush the blacks and like, let's make it moody and like, let's do the vignette also in the corner. So like, but I feel that we all been through that.
Yeah. I would have loved to had that photo session of you-ish and the guys dissecting that photo. That probably was a gem of just wealth of knowledge. I wish that would happen more, that kind of stuff. And I know it's very hard because of the time, but
I think that helped that we all were in the same house. Like we were in the living room. And well, when people like that, it's like, hey, like, let's work on it. You're like, all right, yeah, let's do it. Like that also happened on Willwood when it was here in San Antonio. I remember that I was editing a photo and I was like, I feel that this is a great photo, but I just cannot get it right. And then it was Bruce and Charles, Black Rambo is his Instagram. Mm-hmm. They were like, dude, like, make it black and white. I was like, all right. And it's like, like, I feel we're onto something. Then like we started and they were like, yeah, move here. Let's try this and let's try that. And then at the end, like, it was a great photo. And then it's like, yeah, it's something that still feels like a little weird. And then Charles was like, dude, like, use the noise thing. And like, when like I clean it, I don't use it. I rarely use it. So that never crossed my mind. She was like, do it. And I did it like a 10%. And then I was like, oh, shit. Yeah, this is it. And like, that was a photo of the weekend for me.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool. It's cool.
And I don't know Carlos, or Carlos is always on my mind, apparently. I don't know Charles personally. Obviously, I know Bruce. And I know how many people he's already impacted just like that. So that's cool to hear that you also had that same type of experience. Doesn't surprise me. So
yeah, I've been very lucky to work with Bruce on the adaptive divisions, and like that's where it is for me, you know.
That makes sense too, because he was talking about, filling those positions and how there's a greater purpose and a greater like emotional feeling with that. Like he talked about how you feel like when you go there, like you come in as one person, you leave slightly changed, right? In the positive. So I'm sure you probably had that same type of experience.
Yeah.
Doing with Adapted.
I've been working like with them 3 years, I believe. And like, I think I cry every day.
Yeah.
It's not just because I'm very emotional, but everyone that is on the media team working for Willwood, I don't know, the guys that work for CrossFit, because I don't talk with them when we are there. But I know our team's like always stressed. It's just like, it's something that, and you know what is very cool? Like that community, like they love you. Like, but it's like this through feeling, like, hey, like they feel seen, they appreciate that so much. Like sometimes, like I remember, like 5 or 6 months after we delivered the photos, like I had a guy send me $10 on Venmo for a coffee. I haven't had I have just a few athletes of the game say thank you, not even send me that, just a thank you. And I don't have nothing against anyone. Like I don't have relationships with the athletes, so I don't know. I'm sure they are good people, but just our interaction hasn't been like, oh, I love it, thank you so much, But this guy, like, will send me for a coffee 6 months after because he still remember, So
it's incredible.
like, yeah, that community, like, is very embracing, it's very welcoming, and it's very loving. And once you start doing the work, it's hard to pull out, like to be like, yeah, like, so it's very nice, and I feel very grateful to have been able to be a part of it. And it's thanks to Bruce and a lot of other things that happened, but mainly him making the call for me.
Yeah. No, and that leads me to like my final question, really, like, with the experience like that, like what's in the future for you? Like what are you looking forward to? What excites you? If you got something coming up later this month, later this year, like what gets you going,
I'm excited that football season is coming. Actually, I was looking at the calendar today.
Yes.
Because the guys were like, hey, like, here's the games, here's the Excel, like, fill the games you can go.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, it will be just college season again. Basketball will start too. And I've been working, honestly, like, my thing now, it's I'm trying to do more kind of editorial brand work, like with the sports. Like I just did a shoot for a ambassador of Lululemon here, and like I did an event for them. So like I'm trying to move more in that type of direction.
Yeah, rumor is you got a hat from that experience too.
Yeah, a hat and other things. It's good.
Yeah.
No, but
that's
like
great.
I want to move in that direction. Like I'm talking with some run clubs because I want to do some documentary style things too. So I want to, what it moves me right now, it's my personal projects a little more because now at the agency, I always need to do the stuff that needs to be done. And I try to do the things the best I can, but some things doesn't have like my heart in it.
Right. Yeah. I think we all have to take like those jobs from time to time. That's just like, this is simply a paycheck. Like, I will do a great job. I will deliver on everything I need to, but it's not going to be the same as like you were mentioning there with passion projects like the college football or run club. Like that's, you're taking those on outside of all the other work you're doing, and that should tell you everything you need to know as far as passion projects.
Yeah. So that's it. for me. Not much action for the rest of the year.
I don't know. That sounds like a lot to me. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I was going to say like going out to shoot like these big CrossFit competitions. It will be more local stuff.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that's it. I'm probably going to Hyrox in Dallas.
Nice.
I think that's the only other thing that I have. And like the collaboration, like I'm probably going like with Kessler, like we're trying to put something together, like to make it happen. Just
awesome.
Is the type of things that this type of work at CrossFit lives you, those friendships and collaborations.
Yeah. I mean, it makes it so much more fun.
I don't know. Maybe I'll go to Desert City too.
Hey, why not? Come on through. My goodness. My policy is come on through. The only thing you're not going to have access to is the floor and the warm-up area. But if you want to come through, you do your thing,
I almost became a part of the team at one point.
That was before my time. See, if I knew you were interested, we could have had this conversation years ago.
Yeah, like I got a message like if I could do some work for them, and then I answer, and then I never received a response back.
Yeah.
If you do the social media, you can see the messages there.
I'll have to like scroll back though, because it's so funny. So like I am attached to like their account. I don't like live in there or anything, but like if I need to post a quick reel or something, right? Man, it gets flooded during like qualification or qualifiers and like just people so I guarantee you I'd have to be like this, with my thumb just like trying to get down to that message. I could probably search it too, I guess. That'd be easier, but yeah, social media.
But I may surprise you there.
Go ahead. Come through. Maybe I'll ask you a bunch of questions and ask for some validation.
I'm good at giving validation. You did a great job today. Nice questions.
Wow, thank you. Yeah, I feel like the conversation flew by. It was like crazy. No, I really appreciate your time, especially because I know as a fellow dad, you have a ton of stuff going on. I mean, we're recording here late at night because you're, making sure we got.
How's being a father for you now? How does it feel?
It's great. It's like, it's the most fun, terrifying, exciting, stressful thing I've ever done by far. But it is like it's not like a straight, thing. There's ups and there's downs, but man, of those ups, they're so high. You know what I mean? Like just being able, we're at 3 months now. So like he's like starting to do all these like little things here and there. So I'm trying to stay off the road as much as possible so that I'm able to be here for all those moments. That's been a very hard balance to have. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. It's gonna get.
I'll keep posting photos so you can keep sending me DMs on how cute my baby is. Validation again. I told you.
Yeah, I will. But it's good, man. Like being a dad is the best thing if you want to be one.
Yes. Yeah. Like I went into it. I'm like, can't wait for the rec sports and all that stuff. And like, got a bunch of guys down here that have all had boys. So like, man, we're just gonna powerhouse through like youth sports. Hopefully they become a little bit more affordable, but whatever.
It will come to a point where you feel that you're not doing enough and the right thing. And when that happens, remember that you are doing enough.
That's beautiful.
That's an important thing. And that's something that I always tell people that has kids for the first time. And like once someone I read or someone told me like parenting, it's mostly hard for good parents. So keep that in mind because things are going to get rough and you're going to feel it's just human nature. You're going to be like, shit, like I'm doing enough, man. Like, should I be doing this job? I'm helping enough. Like, just be mindful that if you're asking those questions, it's because you're a good dad.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I tell you that as a dad. It's hard, but you're going to get through.
Amen. Well, cool. Well, let's definitely chat again soon because I really enjoyed
For
this.
sure.
All right.
Anytime. But after 9.
yeah, specifically.
Well, that's a wrap on this episode. Thanks for tuning in to the Capture the Reps podcast. If you're a fitness creative and you found this episode helpful, please share this with a fellow creative and keep creating, keep learning, and keep capturing those reps. We'll see you next time.